What's something you can't believe you had to explain to another adult? Thermostats, you got it. The number is the temperature you want it to be, not power level. Asterisk asterisk maximum power asterisk asterisk cranks to 100. Vegeta, what does the thermostat say about the temperature level? Time zones. I once met an adult who had never heard of time zones. Never hearing of them is absurd. But so are some of the oddities concerning time zones. Yeah, there are something like 35 different time zones. You know, one for every hour of the day. TLDR, that you have to use contraception if you don't want to get pregnant, even if you have just one sexual partner at the time. For client, I keep getting pregnant, and it's not fucking fair. I've already got 3 kids. You social services, in general, need to help me. Well, what contraception are you using? Client, OMFGWTF, etc, etc. I'm only sleeping with one fella, why the fuck do I need contraception? I'm not a dirty slag. That the odds of a fair coin coming up heads are 50/50 irrespective of what the prior flip was. Edit, look up the definition of a fair coin before pointing out that the weight balance between heads and tails influences the result. The gambler's fallacy. No, you don't understand him, Jew. That digitally scanning things in color does not cost more money than scanning it in black and white. How to make jello. My older cousin, 20s, called for help, and she had the box in hand. It's okay though, we use it as ammunition whenever she's being a bitch at family events. My GF claimed she didn't know how to cook rice. Not only is the 3-step process on the /box, we have a rice cooker, so it's 1. Add rice 2. Add twice as much water 3. Push button. The website's link, I sent their email, mom. I've talked to someone who was dead set in his belief that to contact a website, you just email that website. Like you open up gmail.com, log in, and in the to field you can just put in nfl.com and send the NFL a message. PP doesn't come out of the hoo-hoo. The number of people who don't grasp that the vagina and the urethra are 2 separate holes is baffling. That when I ate food while pregnant, a little bit of the food didn't get diverted to the baby. Genuinely. To the kid's father. My husband asked me once what happened to a woman's period when she was pregnant. Him, currently pregnant with our 3rd and pregnancy, still baffles him. FFS. I had to teach a 40-year-old man basic math. If you make 4 copies of a 4-page document, it will be 16 pages. And if you can only print 10 pages for free, you will have to pay for 6 pages. Had a coworker once that told us she had to use special calculators, keyboards, etc. because she didn't have enough electricity in her hands. Her response when I told her that wasn't how electricity works was that she had seen an electrician about it. I just left. When my iron count is low, I actually have trouble with touch screens accepting input from my fingers. Toilet doors. That's right, if it says occupied there is someone in there. If it won't open, it's locked because someone is in there. You have to wait outside because yes, someone is in there. This was many times throughout the day. You mean trying to force my way in isn't a normal reaction to finding a locked public bathroom stall? Next, you're going to tell me that standing and staring at someone blocking my path until they notice me or move on their own is not preferred to just saying excuse me. Are you a flight attendant by any chance? Because I think I said this to people like 5,000x a day when I was still flying. It was baffling how many people didn't understand that the door wasn't gonna open if the person inside had locked it. That the earth goes around the sun and not the opposite. That all of the words in the email are in the email for a reason. No. Do not stop reading after the first line and then ask a question that is answered later in the email. No. Do not stop reading at the first period and then ask a question that is answered later in the email. Read the entire email. Then you can hit reply and ask your question. How men and women evolved together. He said evolution can't be real, because what are the chances a female human and male human evolved to match each other, as though they evolved separately then met up one day? I also had to explain we're still evolving. That a salmon was a fish. Also that bulls are male cows. She thought cows and bulls were a different species. And cow actually refers to a female cow that's had offspring. A steer is a fixed bull, a heifer is a female cow that's not had offspring. Same person for both of these. Cucumbers and pickles are the same vegetable, one is just pickled. Alaska is not an island. Different person. Manatees are native to Florida. That the pretty little 5 and 10 on the green bill she had meant $5 and $10. She said she had $3 after counting 2 5s and one $10 bill. She was 22. She had her diploma and X200B. Edit. She wasn't high. And I don't want to come off as though I'm making fun of her or talking shit about her because she's very sweet. She's kinda like a puppy. She's sweet and easy to love, but don't expect her to do your finances. If you don't go to work you won't get paid, and I don't want to hear you bitching all day about being broke when you refuse to get your hungover or lazy ass out of bed, or better yet, not drink the night before to do what you're supposed to do. Then they wondered why they got fired too, after pulling this stunt several times. If anything, I think their employer put up with it for far too long. That opening Windows Task Manager and holding down F5 doesn't actually speed up your computer, it only updates the performance stats quicker. They still don't get it. Untrue. Once your computer notices you are checking its performance it stops messing around /s. That it takes 1 hour to travel 80 miles while moving 80 miles per hour. And if you halve your speed, you'll get there in half the time /s. Someone posted on Facebook a picture of their paycheck deductions and was asking why money was being taken out of her salary. Lol, my first real job in college. I looked at my first paycheck, the deductions and the take home, and thought to myself, why do I bother working, and how on earth can people afford anything? The concept of fraud. I bought a phone case online and I received a completely different one clearly painted at home. When I told this to the seller he sincerely thought that he had just duped me and was a master businessman. No, you just committed fraud and admitted to it. But my cheat is perfect, yes. You must admire the beauty of my business deal. I almost got you this time. Ah, business. To be fair, it seems that a lot of politicians are using this strategy and doing pretty well with it. That when I change a 50 for you, it is no longer your 50 and I can spend it on whatever I want. Yes, I know I got it from you, but I traded you to 20s and a 10 for it, so it's mine now, and buying beer is my right. I'm not spending your money on it, I promise. My brother is adult. Why Halloween will never be on Friday the 13th. I had a girl at work once tell me that the Protestant Reformation was my opinion. No, Brittany. There were no fucking Protestants until Martin Luther nailed his thesis to the doors of the church. The Catholics came first. That's not just my opinion, and I'm an atheist anyway. That never actually happened. He was telling us about his dream. Continents exist, and Africa is not, in fact, a country. I had to explain to someone who was about 24 years old that North America isn't a country, it's a continent. And that US of A is the country we live in. I asked another person for her opinion. When she figured out what we were arguing over, yes, he was very persistent, she just walked away.